Alright, so this is going to be part 2 for the exhaust. I've had this on for a week. I've been driving back and forth every day with it for the past week. Love the sound of the exhaust when you're accelerating hard. It sounds awesome, but it doesn't matter what RPM I'm at when I'm just cruising down the road straight, whether I'm at 2500 RPM, 3500 RPM. The amount of drone noise that I can get out of it into my helmet is just, it's bothersome, man. It's just bothering the crap out of me. I even tried wearing earplugs, and it's actually worse with earplugs than without them. But even just on the short 20-minute ride to work back and forth, when I get there, I pull my helmet off, my ears are just ringing. So it's a little too much for me. So this is going to be round 2. I'm going to take these back off. So luckily I saved these. I've already started modifying one. So what I'm gonna do here, as you can see, I'm gonna reuse this here, start drilling some holes. I'm gonna use this piece here. I'm gonna chop this out because there's that little piece there from that baffle that was in there. So I'll cut close to where those holes are, cut that out, and then I'm going to cut this around right here, and that'll be the only. So once I'm going to have to cut the weld off again on the muffler where I welded. I'm going to pull that sleeve out, and then I'm going to trim that 3-inch, because I left 3 inches of this material right here on the tip. So I'll cut that down to probably about 1 inch, and then this side will be welded to the tip, so this will be closer to the inner part of the muffler, because you've got that dB killer in the beginning of the muffler, and there'll be a small gap between the two so that you've got exhaust flow flowing through here and also flowing around through here. And then I'm going to set this up in the drill press right now, and I'm going to drill some holes in here. I'm not going to go to this extreme, but I am going to drill probably 2 or 3 holes here, and probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times around here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. A little easier than trying to do it by hand in the drill. So I'm just going to chuck it up in this so I can drill through both sides, make it a little easier. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll video taking the exhaust back off and putting this back on. So. So here it is. Got those holes drilled. Definitely not the straightest things. I didn't really mark those out or anything, but just did 3 holes kind of all the way around there. So that should do it. I'll cut it here and get the exhaust pulled off, and we'll go from there. So so these holes here, I kind of alternated back and forth between 1/4 and 5/16. That's what I did there. Nothing particular, but you could do more or less, but that's what I'm going to try. So this is going to be part 2 on this. If I get the desired result on it, I'll leave these in. One thing I'm going to do too, before I actually weld this all back into the exhaust tip, is once I get this cut, get this welded on inside or on the tip piece, I'm gonna get some high heat black tape or paint, the 1200 degree or 1500 degree header paint or whatever, and I'm gonna paint these. This bike only has like 700 miles on it. It's already pretty rusty. It's kind of interesting how it's all just raw steel versus being stainless on the inside. But So I'm gonna throw some paint on that. That'll help protect it a little bit longer, but so yeah, we'll go to that point. If I don't get the sound that I'm wanting out of this, I'll do a part 3. But on my first video, or on this video, sorry, after about a week of ride time, I'll post in the comments my thoughts on this and how I'm liking it. But if I still want to do some changes, what I've got planned next is I'd have to cut the weld again, pull those apart, and what I've done on a lot of other exhaust systems on motorcycles is I've done like an inner baffle design, like if you've ever looked at the inside of a Flowmaster muffler. So I'd have to draw those up in CAD, and I'd cut a couple triangles that have the inner radius here. So I'd slide it in. I'd do probably a triangle here and a triangle here, and then I'd cut a round piece here that would have a round hole that I would dimple die back here. So you've got basically a little chamber back here, and then the 2 triangles that basically deflect the airflow into the sides and kind of back and around. So the few bikes I've done that kind of stuff on, the exhaust has always turned out really well. They have a different sound, but they do sound really good. So that'll be my option 3, depending on how this works. So I'm kind of hoping this will work pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. So here's these 2 pieces. Got all these done. Did 2 different heights here, just because the 2 different muffler sizes. So those are done. Now we're gonna pull the exhaust off and get the ends cut, get those welded on. Okay, so I got these cut back off again, and then these are just sitting there. Got these trimmed down, so this is what I had on there before, so it was just that piece. So trim those down, got those cleaned up there, and then we've got these pieces. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and get that welded on there like that. And then once that's welded, I'll slide that back down in and weld it back in. So I'll try and video the welding a little bit. So there's those. I'll weld it up. Next step, we'll just put them back in those. So I got the first one, got them welded up. Not the prettiest thing because I still had some of that leftover high heat paint right there where I did it before. So I'm gonna have some cleanup I'm gonna have to do. I might have to polish some of the chrome right here too. So it looked like that heat almost, the paint almost heated it up a little bit too much. A lot of that might actually rub off my hand. Might just be smoke from the burning paint, but it's gonna take a minute to clean that up. And then I'll repaint the top piece black. You can see how that's silver, so I don't have much of the black high heat paint left, but I had quite a bit of the silver, so I did paint those both sides silver. But I'll paint the surface here black when I'm done. Alright, so I got everything put back on. Got the tips painted black. I did have to do a little bit of polishing. I just took a little compound wheel, some polish, and I was able to polish. There was a little bit of coloration that came in here, but it buffed right off there, no problem. So yeah, I got those put back on. It all looks like it did before, and we'll get it outside and let you see it, let you hear it. So I already did take it out, rode around. It sounds extremely good. I'm really happy with the way it sounds now. Big improvement. It sounds more refined too. Just not having that big open chamber in here for the exhaust to kind of do whatever in. It just sounds better. I think it will completely eliminate the drone noise. I was just kind of riding around the neighborhood up and down the road. I didn't have my helmet on or anything. So we'll see this week as I commute back and forth to work with my gear and stuff on, but I think I've pretty much solved the issue that I was having before. It's loud, but it's not near as loud, and I think it'll eliminate that drone. It does sound really, really good, so I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, after about a week of riding, I'll let you know what my thoughts are on it then. But so far, I do like this improvement. So if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna shorten your exhaust, this is really the route I would go. Instead of just leaving this an open chamber with, you know, a few inches of pipe here left on it, I really would go with leaving that piece in there that I just put back in there. I think you're going to be happier with it, with just the quality of the sound. It is going to sound better. I think it'll work better for you. So